it would be cool if I could go back in time, or if I was able to locate her and she was physically present. But this is in regard to a question, or actually a comment, that somebody who watched the video I did on rebuilding the cosmic father and mother, which is experiencing being one, the first star, the first curve, the first spiral, the eternal breath of the still point of eternal peace, right? Because all spirits, all living spirits, are sacred temples, which are templates, which are DNA templates, which are coded templates. And so she said something about she never, I believe she said, didn't attach a name to the creator spirit. Lay and I used to have, we used to fun around a lot when we talked about, it's just like complex number space, running a calculator, mathematical operators, right? Cells are dividing and multiplying. You want to accelerate a universe, then you want an exponent, a log scale, like it's a scalar wave, right? You want to accelerate the universe, generate a gazillion neurons, neuroion, elemental circuitry, experiencing perfect balance, which is equal in mass with every line of communication. So you zero it all out, 0 degrees in a compass, the single point in a compass, single point in a circle. You draw a circle, draw a dot in the center. So you know when you start at the center point and you draw a line to the inside diameter, and then the inside of that sphere is experiencing pure, eternal, absolute love, the first sphere, the first star. Because the lines are equidistance. That's equal mass. Because the inside of that cell is on fire, which is experiencing eternal, absolute, pure love in spirit form, which is the form and function of mathematical operators of calculus. You know, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. They're different than baking a cake. 1 teaspoon of this, right? So the elements are performing the work on your behalf without you having to think about it, which means you're always at 0, which is to zero it out, which is to zero out the clock, so you experience no time, which is no mass, which is no weight. And how that works with elements, right? On a 4-way compass, right? The cross, a double diamond. And so her and I used to joke around a lot about how we love to compartmentalize information, or how libraries work. Character maps, storing information, memory modules, records. So that every time that we complete a circuit, that's a record of what we experienced, by virtue of the energy that we're using to be who we are, what we're going to experience next. So you can imagine what it's like when you're on fire. You're on fire to learn and you're on fire to create, because you're always with the grand creator. So in other words, it's what I experience, it's what it feels like. See, that's why when I was a child, when I was 4 years of age and I had this avatar up and running, okay, I lived through my heart. So the energy that I experience in my heart is eternal, absolute, pure love. So I have a relationship with my creator, so that I'm always home. So that's spirit, because spirit is a spiral, spinning energy, right? And so I normally use terms that relate to energy as consciousness, what we experience. And that's the other operative word that I use, experience. What does it feel like? Because what it feels like is what it feels like magnetically at the completion of a circuit. So when the electric and the magnetic are one, then your consciousness is the full electromagnetic spectrum. Because you have cold fusion, hot fission that become one, 2 magnets become one, the one becomes the all. Right? The first star, which is on fire to create more of what it's giving love to. So you know the first engine in and of itself, which is the first cell, is what love is. There's always in a state of eternal peace. Because you know that something in spirit form that is experiencing eternal, absolute, pure love cannot do any harm to itself. Because that flame, which is the still point, which is the first eye of Ra, is experiencing itself in a state of eternal peace, which is the breath of Kamalawati. So we assign numbers and letters as fire letters that are in sequences. So when you see Sophia, S is a form. See how it curves? And you have an O like a circle. And you have P as in potential, right? H, hydrogen. I, A. I, A. A is 1. I, 1. Okay? So you can use the fire letters as representative of numbers, as we use letters and numbers to describe what? What we experience. And what it sounds like, which would be the axial tonal sounds of pronouncing using a voice box to pronounce the tones that are represented by the character that we see in the visual display, which is our mirror. That's why when I go out and work with the sun and turn the thought motor off and just feel, I'm breathing peace, breathing eternal peace to the center point of my heart. The gyrodome that I run, the aurora gyrodome that I run. So I breathe inner eartha, a living planetary organism. All the cellular breathers on the planet are breathing in tempo, are breathing in peace. The center point of the first star, breathing in eternal peace, experiencing the perfect balance, which is zero mass, which are no distortions between the circuits, which are the elemental circuitry. So I'm experiencing the perfect zero, the still point, the buoyancy above the waterline. I can breathe. Breathing space. I'm experiencing the still point of the first point, of the single point in a circle of light. The fire ring. The first fire ring. The first star network. A star fire light cycle. So yes, we assign letters and numbers, just like the complex number space. I used to watch a guy named Tim Refat, who is a self-described physics professor, I guess, or took classes in math and physics and chemistry and all that. And he talked about how you use the minus / the plus, right? Calculus, negative magnetic polarity, positive magnetic polarity, the input signal, the first signal, the EF5 field, the first signal. I'm experiencing the first signal. Wow, yeah, I'm experiencing the first signal. And how he would show on his whiteboard minus I / to the I. So the I is positive and the minus I. What does the minus I mean in their math? Imaginary. So they're imaginary numbers. Oh, like imagination, the imaging, the projector, the holographic projector, the character maps represented by the mathematical translation of fire letter codes that we experience in our mirror. That's why when I was a child, this is an illusion. That means I know the difference between mapping deadlight, which are deadlight codes, which are AI codes, and the first code talker, the first star. Right? So I know my creator, which is what love is, because that's what I experience in me. So you know that universal love is universal truth, because love tells no lies. So the reason a psychopath lies is it doesn't know right from wrong. It doesn't know one from the other. All it knows is what it is, which is what? A parasite. Without an off switch. So if it cannot correct its spiral, what happens? Implodes. So it's seeking to implode at a higher rate of speed by virtue of more what it does to others. So when shields are up, what does that do? Accelerates the time wave density, the time wave frequency in which it will implode. So it's seeking to implode at a higher rate of speed. that has a counterbalancing effect with us, which actually increases our shield. As that relates to what? The exchange rate. Between two planetary magnets. In other words, while we're getting stronger, it's getting weaker. Its signal is getting weaker. Whoa, its signal is getting weaker. And when you're not experiencing its spiral, which is a deadlight spiral anymore, they're gone. Now you're experiencing is what I am, which is what love is. Because that's what the law is. Which is the law of spirals, which is the law of balance, which is the law of spheres, which is the law of least effort to experience the first spiral, the first signal from the first star. I know. So I was saying this when I was a little kid. It doesn't change. That means they can't change your spiral. They can't change my spiral because I'm in love with my Creator. I'm on fire to be with my Creator. Okay. So they can't ever put that fire out. Founders. Yeah. Founder spiral. Have a beautiful day. We love you all. Be good to ourselves.